The toilet away.
Yeah, the chain, you know, on the inside, the chain got caught around something, so I undid it and it worked.
I was also making myself comfortable.
As they say in England, did we tell you that, Robert? How
Maybe,
we would be walking
yeah.
with
Yeah, I
the
think so.
Ramblers in England,
I think
and
so, yeah.
this woman says, I think I'll drop back and make myself comfortable.
Sounds good to me.
Nice way of saying it.
Yeah, very polite, very
Yeah.
British.
Yeah,
Okay, where's mine?
Well, here,
let's get some, okay, that's the new list that I'm expanding into.
you have
I
all
think-
these memorized.
Well, that list, I'm not bulletproof by any means, but I can do okay on a lot of them. But I think we should let Chandini go first.
Okay, this one is Broken Waterfall, Heal My Dreams.
Thaw them like an ice-veined frog encased at the foot of your translucent pillars. Send your inner music cascading behind the facade of your frozen roll-top desk in which are stored so many poems. Broken waterfall, heal my dreams. So it's about the big waterfall in the glen called the Cascades. And when it freezes in winter, they're about 6 foot or maybe taller icicles. And I say it looks like a pipe organ made out of icicles or the grill of a Pleistocene 18-wheeler, meaning an Ice Age 18-wheeler. And then it'll thaw just enough, even in past winters, so that the icicles partly break loose, refreeze at crooked, crazy angles, form all kinds of ice sculptures. It formed like an altar, like the water dripping down formed an altar which rose up, and then water carved out a little basin in the altar, and then there was a big chunk of ice swirling around in the basin with the big icicles hanging there. And we have seen a frozen frog, at least one frozen frog.
That's cool.
And the frogs are so primitive that they can survive freezing sometimes. They can come back to life. Just like other animals have greater healing powers than we have, like starfish and things. So I'll do it again. Broken waterfall, heal my dreams. Thaw them like an ice-veined frog encased at the foot of your translucent pillars. Send your inner music cascading behind the facade of your frozen roll-top desk in which are stored so many poems. Broken waterfall, heal my dreams.
Roll top desk is great.
And I tell you folks, there's nothing to me more exciting and wonderful and beautiful than being able to do this. I can't tell you, people say, how do you do this? Apparently I have stored up within me the equipment, background, knowledge, experience, sensitivity to do it. But it's just so amazing how these lines come out.
Yep.
Well, the sensitivity to what you're seeing. I mean, you see it and you feel it.
Yeah, and then I
And
can...
so many people can just walk
Right,
past.
and then I can translate it
Yeah.
into a metaphorical reality.
Okay, let's do another water.
Okay,
Water is a slippery, paradoxical character, a most ubiquitous, lackadaisical gadabout.
so right there we got a poem right there.
A lot
Water
of big words.
is a most slippery, paradoxical character, or a slippery, paradoxical character. I never can remember that title, by the way, completely. A most ubiquitous, lackadaisical gadabout. So also right in the beginning, I want you to notice that lackadaisical and gadabout are opposites, right?
Yeah. Lackadaisical would be lazy.
Right.
Gadabout would be moving around.
So now think about water. Just think about it. Okay. Water is a slippery, paradoxical character. A most ubiquitous, lackadaisical, gadabout. You may glimpse it loitering on the edges of medieval paintings by Hieronymus Bosch, tapping its foot, rocking lazily from side to side. Let's see, wearing a floppy straw hat, blue-robed, flotsam-eyed. Long legs, big hands, gangly limbs, as slip-jointed as an aqueous fulcrum, as untethered as the breeze, paying no attention to the nostrum seller in the town square, half a fluid step away from slipping off to the shade of the linden trees by the lichen-crusted church, or sampling a tasty dainty from the pieman's laden cart, mumble chanting to itself, eyes rolled inward, dreaming of white sand beaches and blue lagoons, betraying precious little of its its loose-gated quickness, its tsunami-wreaking power, the counter-indicated hole cards of its high index of specific heat, its ability to expand while freezing, and its virtual incompressibility when contained. So I garbled the last thing, which is a little bit must, betraying precious little of its counter-indicated hole cards. Its high index of specific heat, meaning it doesn't want to change temperature. Mm-hmm. It's a fluid, but it does not want to change temperature. Its ability to expand while freezing, which is completely backwards. Everything else, when the molecules slow down, when the molecules speed up, they take up more room and things expand when they get hot. That's how you get a metal cap off of a jar. You run it under hot water, the metal cap expands, the glass is an insulator, it doesn't expand. So when things freeze, the molecules get closer together. But water, while it's freezing, gets bigger. And that's why ice cubes float and why icebergs float. Now it's true that a lot of the ice cube or the iceberg is below water, but part of it is above water. So that's completely backwards. Almost impossible to believe, but it does it. And if it didn't do it, if it did not, in effect, break or go counter to a law of physics, then of course there's a reason why it does it, which I can't explain. Something about the crystal lattice and probably the room that it takes up. But if it didn't break this seemingly obvious law, you really wouldn't have life in this planet, because in the winter, in a lake or a pond or an ocean even, the ice forms on top because it's lighter than water. If it was heavier than water, which would be the rule since it's frozen and compressed, it would form at the bottom of the pond. By forming at the top of the pond, it seals the top of the pond and enables the life to overwinter in the mud at the bottom of the pond. It's a miracle. It's just a bloody miracle. And it's everywhere. And we're made of it. And the last one, and virtual incompressibility when contained. Once again, you wouldn't think that a fluid is this strong or hard, but when you compress it, you cannot compress it.
Yeah. Huh.
The heavy earth-moving equipment, the backhoes and everything, there's fluid in those arms. Mm-hmm. And they actually use oil, which again would be more counter-indicated, that you'd be using oil to be a non-compressible fluid. So go figure.
That was a good lesson.
So go figure. And the incompressibility is easily demonstrated. Also, it's a Taoist paradigm that water follows the path of least resistance and flows downhill. That's a Taoist paradigm, to follow a path of least resistance, as opposed to egoic-driven humans following a path of maximal resistance, which I have followed a lot of my life, believe it or not. So, easily demonstrated that you just move gently in it, and there's relative, it's still heavy and thick, but if you slap it real hard, you'll hurt your hand. And if you slap it hard enough, you'll break your hand. And if you jump off a 100-foot cliff and you don't do this, you'll get a concussion. That's how hard it is. When you are trying. It has both properties, right back to the beginning.
It's a good idea not to jump off a 100-foot cliff.
And you know the Acapulco guys do that, and the high divers do that. So they have to create a hole for their head. They learned that.
Wow. How you know all this to begin with, it's a thing.
I know.
See, that's what enables me to write the poems, Keith.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're just fascinated by all these facts and all these things that you learn.
But again, think that life is totally water-based, and how, binary it is, how paradoxical it is, and life is that way too. We're not predictable.
That's for sure. Okay. And now, with arm outstretched and palm greased with peanuts.
Right, I don't like this poem particularly, and I don't know it very
You
well.
gotta take it off of there.
I'm trying to lure the wild chipmunk of sleep out of his burrow so he may show his sly, hoodwinking face and dance around a little bit on the porch of my brain before depositing a cheek pouch of moonbeams in the hidden valley of my mind. I'm trying to lure the wild chipmunk of sleep out of his burrow.
That's what she does.
I throw peanuts out almost every morning when I do yoga. I put my mat on the floor there, I keep peanuts right there, and I throw a few out, and I watch the blue jays and the squirrels and the chipmunks
So
come forth. And I've had a squirrel knock on the door when he was sleeping. I've actually had that happen. This little squirrel would come up
Hey,
come
miss,
look in and-
where's the peanuts? Yoo-hoo.
that's what she does. Sitting beneath a placard marked $4.99.
Sitting beneath a placard marked $4.99 a pound, the cherries have nothing to do but ripen. Let's see. Or sitting behind a placard marked $4.99 a pound in an open plastic-lined cardboard box in the grocery, the cherries have nothing to do but ripen. Like a horse cropping, I may not be able to do this one. Like a horse cropping grass in a field, which one can't help but notice hasn't written any new symphonies lately or penned any deathless odes to its lover, but when it moves, what time signature can contain that? So too the cherries are allied with that which raised up mountains and laid down tides in the sea, and perhaps if one felt beyond looking, one might sense the deathless ode of bird and bough. The dance of life and death is greater than the body's singular remission. But for now, the indolent cherries ripen in a most unusual place, transposing tea of starch to sugar, having nothing else to do. So that's a poem about you can take the boy out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the boy. You can remove the cherries from nature and put them in a store, and they will do what they are designed to do, which is to ripen,
Yeah.
so that something will come along and eat them and poop out their seed in another location. So now what we're going to do is we're going to give Chandani some of the ones that I don't normally perform, and we'll give Keith and Elaine some of the ones that I do normally perform. So, I'll give Chandani one of these pages too, or two of these pages. And that's one of my favorite poems about the cherries.
That's a nice one.
It's nice when you explain it too.
And it just shows you again how wonderful nature is without having to read books or go online or remember a password. How frickin' wonderful it is. It just does its wonderful
Oh
stuff.
gosh, remember a password.
Okay.
There, I could do a pun cartoon about farting. I can't fart because I don't remember my password. That's what I do. I'll
That's
jot
okay.
it down for future reference. Can't fart because I can't remember my password.
That's a really good one. You just did that, huh?
That's right.
That could be a good one for a shirt.
Yeah. Okay, this one
I
is
do have a lot of fart cartoons as an older person.
Prelude to the Afternoon of a Queer Jewish.
Let's just do the title again. Prelude to the Afternoon of a
Queer Jewish postmodernist poet.
transitional between the Beats and the Hippies. So you would have to know that one of the most amazing art performances in the history of human beings was the Ballet Russe under Diaghilev performing in Paris. I'm going to say 1912. That's a guess. So Diaghilev was this incredible impresario producer who was running the Russian ballet, which was the best ballet in the world. The Russians have always been known for being great dancers and having great ballets. So the best dancer in the world was Vaslav Nijinsky, who was simply superhuman for his time. And he danced the faun in Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun. But it was Stravinsky who wrote the score, and one of the pieces had this. Anybody got a smartphone? Let's do. See, it was another piece about the Rite of Spring. Google Rite of Spring, Stravinsky, Paris performance or something. It's true that I know way too much. Way too much.
My sister really likes this one.
We just saw Fantasia
Uh-huh,
again. What's that, Keith?
Uh-huh.
yeah.
That I
Weird
think that was
Years?
Tchaikovsky. I'm not sure. It was.
Well, they had this Prelude to the Afternoon. I think they had that.
I think you're
Yeah,
right.
I don't know if it was all Tchaikovsky, was it? No.
That the actual conductor was conducting that orchestra.
Right.
So I don't know if it was Stravinsky or Tchaikovsky.
Yeah, I think. Well, it wasn't. I think it was
You
Stravinsky.
think so?
I think so.
I'll be darned.
I don't know if Tchaikovsky was he a conductor? Yeah.
Maybe not.
Okay, was it this one?
Okay. Well, it's called Rite of Spring. That's the one.
Well, Rite of Spring was
See,
in there.
well, if
This
you
is
get
the performance.
okay,
Is it just the orchestra
let's
piece?
see if you can get the music. So he wrote this
Okay.
crazy music which drove the audience crazy. and that's not the music.
Okay. This is the one that
Stravinsky is,
this is the one that I have seen before.
Because it has this this really crazy thing in there which goes the whole time, and it drove the audience crazy, and they rioted. They literally rioted. They started fighting each other
Oh.
and throwing chairs at the
Really?
performers, and the performers kept performing.
Oh, I think I found it. It's titled Riot at the Right.
It's the excitement of the ballet premiere that sparked a riot.
Gertrude Stein. Extraordinary night.
I just wondered if we could sample the music, which literally drove them crazy. But that's not it either.
Maybe there's
We
like,
can forget about it.
okay, I can find it later.
So anyway, in that same ballet, Nijinsky dances the faun in Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun. And let's Google Vaslav, Vaslav, Njin, ought to do it, Vaslav Nijinsky, and see if you get we'll get some images of Vaslav Nijinsky. And we could get an image of him as the faun.
Is this it?
So these were the days. Let's try faun. Let's try Vaslav Nijinsky's faun.
yeah, it would be bigger.
So photography was so new at this time. He was literally would have like a thing holding him, because it was
Yeah.
like an 8-minute exposure or something. Yes, here's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I drew that also. Isn't that impressive, Keith? His musculature and how he becomes the thing.
Oh, I know where they are. They're over by the puzzle, I bet. Now I'm using the puzzle.
So that's the guy I'm talking about, embodying the faun in Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun.
Oh, there they are.
Ginsberg takes the stage as a thick-lipped, bearded faun. Let's see, brandishing a bunch of juicy grapes. He traipses about the stage in his faun getup, naked to the waist of his faun camo tights, noshing on grapes, intoning lines from Kaddish and Howl, spitting grape seeds into the pit. Let's see. Then sits half lotus, chanting verses from the Bhagavad Gita, communes with the ghost of Baudelaire, asks Mallarmé where the hell he gets off, shoots up, collapses into something limb-sprawled adventure golf course in the wings while his poetry storms the Bastille of Simon & Schuster and Random House, stalking urban alleyways on clattering hooves. And I really don't particularly care for Ginsberg's
Email that to me or
poetry.
text it or whatever it's on.
Yeah.
It's a great picture, isn't it?
So
Yeah.
he really was amazing, Keith. He really was amazing. Either my grandmother or mother saw him dance.
Wow.
It would have to be my grandmother.
Well, it's kind of like, remember Rudolf Nureyev?
Exactly. And Nijinsky, he would have been Polish, but he was dancing in the Russian ballet. And he went crazy when World War I started, and he never danced again.
Oh.
He was apparently mentally unstable, and the thought of millions of people dying, he couldn't handle it. So he lived out his life in a mental institution, the greatest dancer in the world.
Wow.
Got one, Elaine?
So you
Some
found,
poems cake walk with a dictionary balanced on their head.
Or scooch under a limbo stick of expectations. Others get drunk and fall into the pool with their clothes on. Then words balloon up around them like lily pads, like raindrops flattened on the surface of the water. Gelatinous frogs' eggs holding within them dark-eyed fetuses, poems within poems, swimming in the void since before time began.
Yeah,
Some
I've never
poems
heard that
cakewalk
one
with a
before.
dictionary balanced on their head, or scooch under a limbo stick of expectations. Others get drunk and fall into the pool with their clothes on. Then words balloon up around them like lily pads, like raindrops flattened on the surface